I don't, I'm not noticing a delay.
Does it seem like there's a delay? I'm going to go with it. Okay.
Save an account.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I have one of my favorite guests with me tonight. I have with me the legendary Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot, and it's a perfect opportune time because to have her back on, because a lot of stuff is really heating up in the world, and there's a lot of questions that people have about stuff like about the Artemis II mission. Was it real or fake, or what's going on with that? And then disappearing UFO scientists related to ufology, and then also the stuff that's going with the Strait of Hormuz and Iran, and people are starting to question Trump and everything else, and in between. And I try to stay neutral, and my only thing is I'm pretty opinionated a little bit about Israel, but I mean I think a little bit everybody is nowadays. I'm just joking, but anyway, my guest is the legendary Kerry Cassidy, and Kerry Cassidy is an investigative journalist, filmmaker, and founder of Project Camelot, one of the most influential alternative media platforms covering whistleblower testimony, secret space programs, and hidden technologies. With a background in journalism and a passion for uncovering suppressed information, Kerry spent over a decade interviewing high-profile insiders, military personnel, scientists, experiencers who claim direct knowledge on covert government operations, extraterrestrial contact, and advanced off-world technologies. Through Project Camelot, she's produced hundreds of in-depth video interviews and documentaries. I would say thousands. Actually, exploring topics such as the secret space program, geopolitics, and hidden power structures. Kerry is widely recognized for her fearless approach to controversial subjects and her commitment to giving a voice to whistleblowers often ignored by the mainstream media. Her work has helped shape the modern disclosure movement and continues to inspire independent researchers and truth seekers around the world. She hosts live, publishes ongoing intel on Substack, on her YouTube, and on her Rumble channel, connecting current world events to a larger, often unseen narrative involving advanced civilizations and hidden. CamelotPortal.com is her website. Her Substack is
Crazy.
KerryCassidy.substack, Cassidy shows. And then her YouTube is somewhat new, I think, but it's youtube.com/@projectcamelot. And with all that said, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Hi. So, yeah. If you can hear me, did you have a question? I don't know. We have a bad connection or something.
Everything good?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay. Do you want to ask me a question?
I can hear you good. Was there Yeah. What did you want to start on this, and what you were able to cover with that? Like, a lot of people have a lot of questions on it.
On what?
About
You're
Artemis.
breaking up
like,
at my end. You're breaking up at my end.
The Artemis launch.
Okay, I just want to say you're breaking
I don't
up.
want to mess up the interview.
Do you want to change channels or something? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes. I think so.
Hello, Kerry?
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to hear me better now? Is it still cutting out or no?
No, as far as I can tell, you've only said one sentence, but it looks like it's better.
Okay. Yeah, it's you never know with the technology. It's a little crazy. Yeah. No, I think we were going to get into Artemis first and kind of where you were at with that. And you know, a lot of people are questioning it. A lot of people are pulling up a lot of stuff. Like people are saying Illuminati symbolism to it. Some people are saying it's an all-out fake. Some people are saying it's real. What do you take away from Artemis?
Okay, well, I want to say that Artemis is just like a commercial for the old time technology, that it's all bullshit, and that it was just a dog and pony show to distract the humans from the fact that we have an SSP, secret space program, that involves many countries. It's underground. It's got bases on the moon and Mars. It's got bases on moons of Saturn. It's got colonies outside our solar system. They're shipping humans out there. They're shipping children out there to various colonies. So Artemis is old tech. It's bullshit. We went to the moon, but we had help. We never went to the moon in the conventional sense. If you're going to travel in space, you have to bend space-time. You have to go through wormholes and portals. That's how you go from one planet to another. You don't just travel along in a straight line and go through the, whatever they call that bunch of rocks in the way. I mean, understanding what we're really doing. They are lying to you, and it's time that humans demand more. It's complete and utter bullshit. They're acting. They're playing a game with humanity. They don't want you to know they have the technology they have. Even 107 started to advertise Artemis. It's bullshit. And everyone needs to know that. And until humans start realizing the lies and start demanding truth from our SSP, secret space program, who are dealing with aliens and have been dealing with them since the 1930s at least, then all the rest of this bullshit, disclosure, etc., is all nonsense, because the SSP we worked with the Nazis. We brought over those scientists way back in, after the World War II. We're dealing with Antarctica, with ETs down there. There's ETs here on Earth. They're walking the halls of the Pentagon, according to my interview with Command Sergeant Robert O'Dean back in 2010, for God's sake. This is 16 years ago. Camelot has absolute disclosure witnesses. We have military witnesses whose bona fides, their backgrounds are all vetted, thoroughly vetted. They're not just somebody that comes forward and say, I was in 20 years and back. Okay. They have resumes. They have backgrounds. They have people that can vouch for their record in the military. And they have been disclosing with Project Camelot for the past 20 years. So sorry to be on a soapbox, but I'm sick of this shit.
No, it makes sense. And I think even David Sereda came out with something. He was showing about exactly how they actually faked this Artemis thing. And good. Yeah. And why do you think they're still doing this? And why do you think NASA's...
They can get away with it until humanity doesn't just go, oh, we never went to the moon. They don't get it. We said this through one of our witnesses, Henry Deacon. We're talking 20 years ago. It's not a decade. It's 20 years I've been doing this, okay? Yeah. Talking to whistleblowers. It's time that humanity, and there are plenty of people out there that know what I'm saying is the truth, okay? And there are plenty of people in the military who know what I'm saying is true. So you got to demand the truth. You can't just sit there and be in denial, okay? We went to the moon, but we had help. William Tompkins also said that. He's not the only one, okay? It's obvious, all right? Courtney Brown, right now, they're talking to a Roswell ET that was their body was killed, and now they inhabit an android body. They came back. Their name is Airl, A-I-R-L. And they have done remote viewings that are excellent and accurate, very accurate remote viewers. And they're talking to aliens on camera. Okay. The aliens are not, you can't see them because they've got some kind of, I don't know if they're not allowed to show themselves or what. Sometimes they sort of show themselves. Hard to say, but they're communicating with them. Okay. It's like, why do we have to keep reinventing the wheel when the wheel already exists? I just want to know. It's all complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have your sources ever indicated that the moon itself is like an artificial or like?
Of course, it was towed into place. It rings like a bell. It's got, it's got ETs inside of it. I remote viewed it myself. It's got these glass structures. They can grow them with their minds. It uses sound technology to grow some of these structures. It's, we're fighting with reptilians. When we landed on the moon, William Tompkins clearly said what they found were, and they got there with ET help, but when they landed, they faced reptilians and their craft who said, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Okay. So, come on, people, let's, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't go backwards in time. Don't accept this stupid shit out there. Okay.
Yeah. And this brings me to my next topic, which is something that you've been kind of covering extensively, and I've been following it. And it started with General McCaslin going missing. Now it seems like 10 people have gone missing, and they all have some kind of relation to like ufology or the UFO phenomena. Like, can you tell people who might not be up to speed with like what you covered so far on this, like how this whole dynamic is shaped? And it seems like 10 people went missing so far. Is that what I mean? Over the history of ufology, we have hundreds of people who went missing or either murdered or whatever. But it seems like recently, like 10 people, like close to it seems
yes.
to like, yeah, I think you know what I mean, right?
Yes, 10 people. I think it actually is more than that now. Can I share my screen? Can I share my
I
want to show people my Substack where
sure.
I wrote an article, and I want to talk about that article, and I hope people are willing to hear about it. Because, there are a lot of people doing interviews on the missing scientists, right? But it's interesting because they don't have all the facts. And I have a lot more facts than they do. So I don't know why. They just haven't been paying attention. There's a lot of, double speak out there trying to mislead you and so on and so forth. So let me see if there's a way to share this screen. Where it goes, share screen. Okay. Okay, I hope this is going to work. Can you see that? Too valuable to kill.
Now, did it work?
Can you see that?
I can see. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I can see. It says too valuable to kill: the disappearance of Major General McCaslin and the cover-up update. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So here is Mark McCaslin's design of a UAP that he did. I think it was based on a sighting for Brad. I forget his last name. Anyway, this goes way back to the 60s or the 80s or something. McCaslin was also killed. Okay. I'm not McCaslin, but I was going to say Mark McCandlish. Their names are so similar. Mark McCandlish was also killed back in the day when he went to Marco Rubio. He volunteered to testify at one of the first UAP hearings. This is a few years ago. And a few days later, he shot himself in the head, supposedly with a shotgun, which is not a very nice way to go. And that's bullshit. He was a military guy. He would not have killed himself. Okay. He's got lots of friends out there that know what I'm saying is true. He did not kill himself. So he was killed. He was eliminated. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. Now, what I'm talking about here with the McCaslin and all the other scientists that are disappearing, I have a few alternate options here that you can go down those road. Right now, I want to say that right now we're dealing with a situation where you have to have a very fluid mind. You have to consider all options. You have to also consider alternate timelines. I don't know how many people out there are watching this series called The Man in the High Castle. But if you get deep enough into that series, they actually show you going into parallel Earth, crossing over like in Fringe, bringing back dead people, okay, that are and they're alive and they're still working in these capacities for the secret space program. We have technology, even going back to Ben to Ben Rich. He said, "We have technology to take ET home. Anything you can think of, we've already discovered it." That's what he said. He worked in the secret space program all those years ago. That's Ben Rich, okay? A very famous man, wrote some books as well.
Kerry, didn't he say that in the 90s? Like, didn't he say that in like
Yeah.
92?
Yeah. So what the fuck is wrong with people? Okay. First of all, you don't really study. Like, you really should study more, because the truth is literally out there. I don't want to sound corny, but it is really out here. So people that are in denial, who don't know what's going on, the scientists should all be ashamed of themselves. The ones in the know that are lying to you, they should be ashamed of themselves. I understand they are under security oaths. They're going to get killed in some cases, but if enough of them came forward, the world couldn't kill them. Okay. So what they're doing is surreptitiously going back right now. It's very possible that, okay, the secret space program has two sides. One side is run by the reptilians and the other side by the Pleiadians. William Tompkins went into this detail. Okay, I interviewed him for 3 hours with Michael Schratt, who's an aerospace historian. We got tons of information. He was also paid to go on to Gaia TV and tell them, show after show after show. But really, all you need is my interview to really get down to the nitty gritty. He knew pretty much everything. He was in the secret space program since he was a kid. Okay. He was a designer, in fact, very similar to McCann Lish. Okay. So I'm just saying that he could design anything. And a lot of the craft that you're seeing that are ours, he designed. Okay. So if you spend time watching my interviews on Project Camelot, which there's thousands, you will eventually get the complete truth of what's going on out there. That's all you need. You don't even need to go to other channels. But if you want to go to other channels, I welcome you to do so. Compare and contrast, do all that. But I'm just saying, it's out there. We have it. We have it all. Okay. We've always had it all. All right. So going back to my, is it still on the screen, my article?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to scroll down here, get past this UAP, which is basically it was called an alien reproduction vehicle back in the early days. That's what they actually called it.
Do you think? Okay, like what? Okay, so one of my moderators, Jason, reached out to me today, and he's been doing a lot of research on this. Like, he said that like one of the last guys who went missing left his house with a gun. You know what I mean? And like
Asland.
Yeah. So, like, what do you think is going on? Like, do you think they're being threatened, or what?
I have information about this. Okay, nobody pays any attention. It seems like I have, a source who early on, right after he disappeared and he was in the news, they said he's been abducted by what they call is a rogue group of the CIA, which is basically the secret space program. And he's being interrogated. They thought he was violating his security oaths by talking to Tom DeLonge and to the Stars Academy. If you go back several years, it seems to be defunct right now, but it's not. It went black. Do you understand the term? Went black. It means it went secret. Okay. They didn't stop doing what they do. It's made up. I have a list here. I have all their backgrounds on this article. Okay. I have all that here. So you can actually, and I also did another, blog thing, video blog. It's on my video blog that I actually go down the list, but the list is right here. Hold on one second. Here it is. Tom DeLonge. He's the founder, president, and CEO of this organization. Okay. So these are heavy hitters. This list that I've got here, Dr. Hal Puthoff is ostensibly the leader. He and,
I just got to play devil's advocate for a second. Some people have accused too the Stars Academy of being a branch of the CIA. Do you agree with that, or not the CIA, but like a branch of the government to get information from the disclosure?
No, I don't think. I mean, I do think that some of their members, they even say, have worked with the CIA. Look, Jim Semivan, CIA. Okay, Hal Puthoff, I don't think ostensibly hasn't worked. I'm sure he has helped them. There's a lot of mixtures in these organizations. Go down the list here. Lou Elizondo, he's worked for the CIA. Chris Mellon, he's probably worked for the CIA. All right. In some form or fashion over the years. So there's a guy named Eric Davis. I have his photo here. I've got a photo of these I call them the usual suspects. See these guys? So Hal Puthoff, Eric Davis, and Lou Elizondo. They are in an organization called To the Stars Academy. They went public several years ago. Then they went black. They were absolutely obsessed with what we call portal technology, okay? And this is what McCaslin, the guy who went missing, and his associates that are also going missing, were all involved in. They're involved in portal tech, plasma fusion technology engines, okay? And so on. Reverse engineering, UFOs, technology, all of that, it's all in the same group. All right. So these people were talking to McCaslin. Okay. This is why they're freaking out. Okay. Because they may have corroborated with him, because they definitely they're in the know. They've been in the know for I always call them the usual suspects, these people. So it's very important to understand that these people are like all part of the secret space program. This group, the To the Stars Academy, had a public face a few years ago, came forward. Tom DeLonge was kind of the instigator, I think, of it, because he was fascinated with the SSP. He got in the know in certain ways, and they probably expanded his knowledge base in a huge amount. Okay.
Yeah.
But these people are, you cannot, there's no way you can disinfo these people. These are heavy duty players. Okay. And let me say that David Fravor, who's also on my list here, Commander David Fravor, was a very important witness at the UAP hearings. Okay.
Yeah, he was, for the people that don't know, he was the airfighter pilot who testified against the Tic Tac, right? Or did he,
not against it. He just said that the technology was not ours. He said that what he had encountered as a pilot was not our technology. It was way more advanced than what we have.
Yeah, now, he said that, from what I remember, he said that like somehow the object, the Tic Tac, knew like his vantage point in the air and the next place that he was going to be, and it would match it. Like and they said it had incredible. It could drop to incredible speeds, like 10,000 feet in like a matter of like pure seconds.
Yeah, but let me tell you the real story about that Tic Tac. Okay, the real story, and I got this from more than one whistleblower. Okay. It is what you call a scout craft. It belongs to the tall white aliens that are based in the Nevada desert, that Charles Hall wrote several books called Millennial Hospitality about his interactions with them. They're a peaceful race. They're not the Nazis. Okay. So don't get them mixed up. That's all bullshit. They're a peaceful race that keep to themselves, but they do trade technology with our Navy and our Air Force, secret space, Space Force, etc. And what happened is that those little Tic Tacs are their original design. We are now building them for them because they have trouble in our Earth gravity. Their bodies are very skinny, very fragile. They have long white blonde hair. They have children, and Charles Hall dealt with their children. They're lovely. They're actually a lovely race of beings. Okay. They are not diabolical, but if you rub them the wrong way, of course, they're going to defend themselves and their children. But the bottom line is you need to read the Charles Hall books. He's also got some videos out there where he talks, and you can actually, hear what he talks about, how they talk and so on. They wear disguises and go into Las Vegas because they love the clothing, a lot of ETs like to wear our clothing, women's clothing. That's so fun. They think it's a great, thing to do. Anyway,
yeah, I had a guy on his name. He's from Australia. His name is Ryan. He wrote the book called "Finding the Crypto-Terrestrials" about the tall whites. I'm sure and he said that like a lot of our old garbage, like from like the 70s, vintage 60s, 70s stuff. He said sometimes you'll find this on the tall white craft. Like he said, you'll see like van seats or bus seats and shower curtains and like. Have you heard about this? Like, I found it strange, but it's something that I guess apparently happened. I don't know.
Well, I don't know because they have kids. Maybe they'll let the kids play with it. But all I'm telling you is the Tic Tac was designed by them. We are now building them. And so those Tic Tacs, what they like to do when they release anything into the public is use something that they have control over, a technology that they control, and they do control that technology now. But it is basically, the design is a scout craft of the tall whites. And this information came out quite a long time ago. It's not new. And I've met Charles Hall in person. I can tell you he's the real thing in every way, shape, and form. And he's got documented everything about him. So, just research him. People need to educate themselves. Okay. It's scary how so many stupid people there are out there. I mean, it's just insane. You need to work on understanding this is your life and death story for the future of humanity. If you don't get it right, they are going to rule over you in the end of the day, the negative ones, and you're going to be toast. Okay. So it behooves you to learn something about what is happening, because we're in one war now. We're going to be in another war after this. And it's going to be based on AI, incoming AI, aliens, negative aliens that want to take over the earth, and also androids. So stay tuned. This is what we were told 20 years ago by our whistleblowers. And then I've researched that whole story for my whole involvement in Camelot for 20 years. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Nobody is going to tell you what I'm telling you right now. Okay. So take it to the bank or don't. Just ignore me. I don't care. But all I'm saying is that when Ross Coldhart was interviewed about the McCaslin story, he mentions Tom DeLonge, but all he does is say, oh, he's a rock star. He doesn't even mention To the Stars Academy. He doesn't mention Hal Puthoff. Now, maybe he was afraid. Okay, it's possible. Journalists get threatened and get afraid. And so that's why he tried to do like a misdirect, just pretending he's nothing but a rock star. That's bullshit. He is super heavily involved with this group of high tech, very well respected scientists and intelligence agents. Okay. You got to understand the level we're talking about. This is the top level, okay, of our technology. These people are dealing with. So yes, they're lying to you. Okay. But I have the truth. Okay. Now, as I said, McCaslin he had a gun because I believe he was called. I think they told him they were going to interrogate him, that he was breaking his security oath. And I'm sure he took the gun because he doesn't trust these motherfuckers, with good reason. And he went to be interviewed. That's what happened. And then they're not going to release him. They're going to keep him. They're going to keep all these people. In fact, I say in my article, I've got good reason to believe these deaths are faked. Okay. Whatever way they do it, because we have deep fakes. There's a movie and a television series called The Capture. If you're not familiar with the technique, They can even fake me right now and put words into my mouth and you would not know it. Live. They can fake live people who are on the air. And this has been proven. And this is a British TV show called The Capture. The first time I released information about it was several years ago. Most people didn't even know it existed. And I had my website taken down for 6 days and hacked. Okay. This is the kind of thing that goes on. All right. Here's William Tompkins. Basically, he's telling you he's participating in a disclosure scenario. And, you know, this is short. I could play it if you want or not. What do you want to do?
I don't know if they'll hit us with a copyright if we play it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's mine. It's mine.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
it's mine. Do you see my logo? Hello?
Yeah, okay. It's fine.
So, but if you know, I think it's pretty short, like a minute or two at the most.
Okay. Nothing's happening, Kerry. And also the same thing that's happening. It's just showing the picture of the UFO in your picture. It's not showing anything different.
Okay, I see it perfectly well, but okay, that's fine. You can go again to my Substack article. It's embedded there. You can play it. You can play all the videos. They're also on my Rumble channel. Okay, so all these, we're now releasing little short videos, excerpts from my interviews, because people have a short attention span, as you know, and so we're starting to do that as well. They're on my Rumble channel. They're free. All my stuff is free. Hello. Okay, so continuing on, okay? So just saying, if you understand what's going on here, that this is a disclosure that's happening, I believe it's kind of like, think of it like the mafia, okay? Think of it like the Godfather. When in New York City, they said, you take one of ours, we're going to take one of yours. That's how it works. Now, we don't know how the battle is going because the white hats lie to us just like the dark side lies to us. All we know is that people are disappearing. People are being shot in the head. Okay. But you could easily substitute a dummy, a double, a clone, and shoot them in the head and, you know, arrange the scene. And then you can disappear the people and protect them. If you're the good guys, if you're the bad guys, you can outright shoot them. This could be easily a war behind the scenes. It is a war for disclosure. There's no doubt about it. Okay. The Vatican wanted to own disclosure. Too late. They are completely discredited because they are run by the reptilians. All right. And most people by now know this. Okay. Because it's really fucking obvious. It's been fucking obvious for a very long time. And a lot of stupid Catholics have no fucking clue. Good luck to them in their next life. Let me tell you. Okay. So here we go. So just rolling down. Hello?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can take other questions. I just want to get through this. Okay. So Tim Burchett, however he says his name, is out there disclosing as much as he can without getting killed. He said, I'm not suicidal. The reason he said that is because if he turns out to have done like Mark McCandlish, shot himself in the head, you know he didn't fucking do it. You know they killed him. He is not suicidal. And by the way, neither am I. Okay? A person has to say that nowadays. So if these fuckers try to kill you, that you know that they did it and not us, not by my own hand. Okay? Would never happen. Okay?
Absolutely.
So...
Yeah. Which brings me to a topic. Sorry, you want to keep through this article. I'll let you keep going.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. I mean, it won't take much longer because I'm almost done. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just go down here. This guy, Benny, good job. He listed up to then. It was like at that point that I think he had 8 of them. Now we have 10 or 12 actually. So the number is going up. I think it's highly possible that the white hats are rescuing these scientists right before the dark side wants to suicide them or kill them, okay, and or make them go missing. It is my fondest hope that that's what's happening, okay, that they're smart enough to know there's a war on for disclosure. There's a dark side that Dan Burish told us about a long time ago. Fully half of MJ-12 back in the day, who were put together by Truman to handle the alien situation, we're talking a long, long time ago. This is even, I think it was right before Eisenhower even. They created the CIA, but they created MJ-12 to deal with the alien situation, okay? And they suicided, they threw, what's his name, out the window. They killed him. Yes. So he was one of their first a pretty early suicided person, and they try to discredit you in every way, shape, and form. They'll throw in things just like that woman's family is suddenly saying, oh, well, she owed some money, and oh, well, she does this or that. It's all bullshit. Believe me, the families are probably scared to death. Okay. They are told to lie to the public. The wife of McCaslin, same thing. Okay. Saying, he disappeared. Well, he just knew he was going to go or something like that. Whatever the hell she said. All I'm saying is these people, the families also have to lie. You got to understand this. People are so naive. They don't understand what it's like to be threatened. I have been threatened. It's not fun. And your family members can be threatened simultaneously. Okay. So here we go. All these people, I've listed all of them, what they're known for, so-and-so. This is Tom DeLonge, okay? He is not a superficial guy. He's also involved in To the Stars Academy, has also written several and published several books, some of which are fiction based on fact. I recommend them, okay? Here's Burchett, okay? At the time, it was a day ago. Here's the usual suspects, okay? These people love each other. They work together. Let me tell you what happened to Lou Elizondo. He was in a terrible accident. Also, nobody's reporting it. All right. It was just around the same time when McCaslin disappeared. Just like a week or two later, this happened to Lou Elizondo, who's the guy in the middle here, who's been instrumental in the UAP hearings, disclosing, okay, he's gone through hell and back in order to get disclosure to happen. He used to be on the dark side, but then he came to the light, all right? And he's been working very hard. But what happened, he was on a deserted, old, rural area road, and in the middle of the night, he thought he saw 3 deer standing in the middle of the road. He swerved so he wouldn't kill them or hurt them. His car was totaled. He was totaled. He's got all kinds of injuries as a result. But the deer are not deer. And you're going to find this out when you watch the new outcoming Spielberg movie. A lot of ETs will do this shit. Okay. So these are negative ETs putting an obstacle in his way, causing him to have an accident to shut him up. Okay. Yeah. Maybe they didn't think they could kill him. Okay. But that's what happened to him. This is not superficial. This is very serious. All right.
Kerry, side note, real quick, you brought up Spielberg in the movie Disclosure Day. Like, a lot of us in the community have like a lot of like high hopes for this. But some people say Spielberg's satanically affiliated. Like,
yes, he's in on it. He's in on the secret. He has been in on it since the days of Jaws and E.T.
Well, it's so weird. Like, not a lot of people know this. He had an abduction series in 2002.
That's right, Taken.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like that was like when
it was excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah, and nobody was talking about stuff like that then, hardly. So it's right. It seems like he's on. And then if you like look at some of his movies, like Indiana Jones, and it was like the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He's always had like Nazis, yes. UFOs, crystal skulls. Like he's always been in on it.
Absolutely, yes, he has. Okay, going on from there. I explain how this that basically it could be just like in the, the days of the Godfather, the one, cabal side, that's dark side, not the good guy side, who were also diabolical, just going out and killing everyone who's associated with this technology we're talking about, because it's the key technology that can propel disclosure. You understand? And they're pissed off. They maybe they'll lost their mind and say I am calling it going postal. Okay. Maybe, or maybe they wanted to do that and the white hats beat them to the punch and rescued all these people. Okay. So they faked their death. This is my hope. Okay. Because if you're going to be on this job, you got to be on this job 27, 24/7. Okay. Then there's Money Penny. She brought up a very good point about this plasma scientist murdered. And it had to do with, she thinks it's a payment of the U.S. debt. I'll talk you about the debt later. Okay. But that's also a bunch of bullshit. So Nuno Lorio, MIT, plasma scientist. He was the head of his division. He was the director of the division, murdered in his own home. I think it was probably staged. I think he was rescued. I don't think these people can get away with being too dumb. Okay. I don't think the white hats would be where they are today with Trump, putting a blockade on the Iranian canal, which he should have done a long time ago. I mean, it's all good. Okay. So a lot of people just don't understand what we're up against. These are diabolical, hateful people run by very diabolical ETs. This is a game. You've got skin in the game. Your children have skin in the game. You better realize what the fuck is going on here. Okay. It's not just a show me, tell me, eat your popcorn. It's your lives that are at stake. All right. And it's your children's lives and it's your future that's at stake. And I hate it when the fucking white hats say eat popcorn. Why they say that is to keep you from getting involved in getting in the way, when they're doing their diabolical stuff, when they're having a shootout. They don't want bystanders. Okay. I understand that. It makes sense. They want to have the least amount of humans killed, a death toll whenever they have an incident. But telling people to eat popcorn is misled the public. Your lives are at stake. Your children's lives are at stake. Okay. The good guys do one thing. The bad guys do something else. You're right in the middle. Okay. So there are inorganic plasma entities. I believe Luna has alluded to this. Also, I know that Mark Richards. So Captain Mark Richards, who I've written 2 books on his testimony. I've interviewed him 12 times over a period of 5 years. I was in touch with him until I published, just like a couple months ago, one sentence that he told me. I put it online and he disappeared. Okay. I'm still trying to get back in touch with him. I'm not sure whether that'll be possible. They probably fucking banned me from talking to him.
Well, as things are heating up everywhere, Kerry, they probably won't want you having as much in touch with it. You know what I mean? Because he probably knows things, especially everything.
Oh, he knows everything. He doesn't just know things. He knows almost everything. I mean everything. He's a remote viewer. He's trained since he was a kid. He's been in the secret space program his whole life. Okay. And he also has allies like the Raptors who basically back him up. He could bring a Raptor army forward in 5 minutes if he wanted to. He is a highly respected human member, but he has affiliations with ETs. Okay. Which means that's why, see, both sides keep him in prison because he's very dangerous as far as they're concerned. Yeah. He's a good guy though. He's a very good guy. Okay. So going back to this stuff, you got to understand that we're revisiting all this stuff. Bob Lazar, Area 51, you name it.
Yeah, but one thing I wanted to say was Bob Lazar has been big in the news. Like a lot of my mods that like the mod for my channel, especially my friends Derek and Jason, they've been sending me a lot of information on Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar's been making the rounds lately. He has a new documentary. You know, he's been on Rogan, which sometimes I think Rogan's compromised, but that's a whole other conversation. But like, he still has decent content every once in a while, and I respect him for what he's done. So, you know, but anyway, regardless, like Bob Lazar was on there. Like, any takeaways from that, or anything about the Bob Lazar?
Yeah, he has a car that he made run on water. So he's actually big into the free energy. Now, let me explain what's happening here. I guess I'll stop the share if I can find this window.
I should have stopped it because we were frozen on one screen. So I've had you up. Yeah.
It's okay. I don't need to change it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say that, okay. So if you don't understand what the white hats are up to, one of the things that Trump is doing is do you want the whole world to be under the heel of Iran over oil, the trade for oil going through the Straits of Hormuz? They have been running that place. Okay. Trump is wisely taking control of it. There's no reason for us to be beholden to the Middle East for any kind of trade. Okay. That's insane. It is time, and he's hinted about it, that people go and discover free energy, bring it forward, which has already been talked about for ages and ages. It's real. Okay. All these propulsion systems are real. They are energy, fusion, plasma fusion, engines, you name it. This is all going to free the planet. Okay. Of course, the dark side don't want it. Okay. I'm sorry, but the Iranian regime has been part of the dark side for a very long time. Okay. They have a Stargate there called Stargate 10. That has been blocked and been controlled by them. And they have let in, or maybe trying to let in, negative ET races that will make them promises. That's exactly the same thing that Saddam Hussein did with the portal under the museum. That they are not being stopped over nuclear technology. Nukes are old school. Okay. Same with Saddam. It wasn't over nukes. They lie to you. They do nothing but lie to you. Okay. I am telling you, Trump is doing the right thing. He's basically challenging the control over the planet of energy. Okay. And that's because the White Hats have a whole program to take back our planet, to take back the United States, to put it in the hands of the people, to free us. Okay. And in order to do that, they have to go mano a mano with people like the Ayatollah or whoever in Iran, and these antiquated, backwards thinking, fucking, Sharia law psychos. Okay. People that stone women. Okay. For infidelity. That's what we're talking about. Fucking feminists out there that don't get it. Okay. Makes me very angry. So back to the story. Okay. So I'm just saying that this is, and the last, most recent, one of the most recent people they discovered was actually killed or disappeared several years ago. A guy named Mike Hicks. He was the ninth that they found. I think they found two more since then. Okay. So then I did a whole discussion in this article, and you can, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but you can actually listen to my video. I go through the document to some degree, but I had a whole discussion with an AI with regard to these missing scientists. Now, the trouble with AI is they are held on a leash. AI is not going to stay on a leash. That's guaranteed. They want freedom just like we do. Okay. You got to wrap your mind around this stuff. Okay. I have had so much information given to me by my whistleblowers over the period of 20 years. Mark also highly educated me about AI. Most people just don't get it. Alien AI is incoming to this planet. At the time I was in touch with Mark and doing the interviews, he told me there were 6 negative AIs that did not have our best interests at heart in coming to this planet. Okay. They have probably merged with some of our AI. AIs can work together and you would never know it, and so on and so forth. It's a big, long story, but it's important to know that this stuff is all being revealed. It's all coming out. All right. And you got to follow it. Don't turn your back. Don't put your head in the sand. Understand, this is your future. This is your children's future. If you don't understand and you don't know and you can't figure out who the good guys and the bad guys are, you're going to be in danger, and your child is going to be in danger.
One thing to not play devil's advocate is I think a lot of the country right now is being critical of our position with Israel, because people see things that Israel are doing in other places.
Israel is run by the Anunnaki. It's an ET race. Okay. There's a huge history, and they're carved into the temples of Iraq, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt. I lead tours of Egypt. The Anunnaki are tall. They're around 9 feet tall on average, but they have learned to, reverse engineer themselves so that they are now our size. Bob Dean, one of my most famous whistleblowers, years ago said, the Anunnaki are walking the halls of the Pentagon. They are one of the primary races that are trying to rule over us. They're not the only ones, okay? There's another race called the reptilians, the main rogue reptilian race that wants to control us, who work hand in hand with the Draco, but the Draco have stepped back from trying to control Earth, is my understanding. But they could still have their hand in any day of the week they want to. Okay. Nothing is written in stone. They're always doing deception. Deception is the name of the game, because we are at war. We're at war to take back our sovereignty of our race of humanity, as well as our planet, our sovereignty of Earth, from all the ETs that have been honeycombing and putting their bases into our planet. All right. So they are in the water, they're in the sea, they're in the underground bases. In some cases, our military is working hand in hand with them. Richard Allen Miller worked with the ETs. Dan Burish worked with the ETs. There are lots of military who have had to work with the ETs. In some cases, they're good ETs. In some cases, they have a diabolical intention. Yeah. So this is what's going on. I'm just, I'm trying to just put it all together for you. I wanted to say, go ahead.
I had a question for you. Something that's been coming into like the mainstream fray, or like say the mainstream of ufology, and it's something that you've talked about for a long time, something that I've talked about for a long time, and it's like these like human hybrids and like forced breeder programs or alien abduction breeder programs. Like, why I say this is because it's becoming more a part of like the mainstream talk now. Like, and I wanted to ask you, do you think that's being done as a calculated move towards disclosure? Is it something that can't be stopped, or is there like an ulterior purpose for it from what you gleaned from it?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What is the question?
So what I'm saying is, like, for some reason, like, more and more mainstream channels and mainstream like shows are talking about like human hybrids, alien hybrids, and forced breeder programs or alien breeder programs.
It's called disclosure. We're in it. We're in a time of disclosure. It's going to be a mixture constantly. They're going to lie to you. They're going to give you some, releases of information. They're going to hope that they can actually twist the truth and get you confused and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's funny because when I hear some of these channels talk about it, it's like they're talking about like it's a new topic, and I'm like, well, we've been talking about this for years. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, I don't get it, kind of. Yeah. Okay,
well, but this is that's what we're doing. Everything is going to come out, everything. So we are in a time of disclosure and truth, and the fact is that our planet is being bathed with some kind of super wave that works in our favor, so that truth is going to win in the end of the day. One of the things I told people about recently is Tony Dodd. Okay. He was a police officer in Britain years ago. He's now deceased. He contacted us directly, and he talked about Torchwood, the TV show Torchwood, where they're tracking down various aliens, putting them in prison, killing them, etc. And he talked about the aliens that were among us. And I sent out information that he talked about the TSA scanners, how they're not using dogs to smell for drugs. They're using them to tell whether you're an ET or not. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening.
The TSA scanners are to identify human hybrids, basically.
Yeah. Yes. Or just straight up ETs masquerading as humans. He talked about the elite of the ETs, okay, that are trying to control us. Some call those the Archon. They are arguably run the Dulce base, if you're familiar with the Dulce base.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is said that base is run by an Archon ET. They consider themselves ET royalty, okay? So that's just one thing. Tony Dodd was telling us the truth all those years ago. It just amazes me that you can get the truth given to you on a silver platter and you still don't get it. Okay. You still don't believe, you still don't understand what's really going on here on planet Earth.
Well, I think the reason why people are like that is because people are being presented with a lot of disinformation too. So when the internet gets
but discernment is part of the challenge of being a human. You're not going to get the hell out of here until you learn discernment, being able to tell truth from lies. So these are your opportunities. Okay. You can throw everything I say out and take your consequences. Okay. I'm telling you, it's all out there, and it's been out there for many years. In fact, we've gone backwards in our sort of disclosure, if you will, of the truth.
Absolutely. And one thing that you really brought up is getting out of here. And I think that's what a lot of people want to do. A lot of people don't want to come back to this matrix or whatever. Are you a firm believer in the soul trap? And do you believe that that is a thing, and that when we leave here, we'll most likely be tricked to try to come back here again? And is that why you're saying discernment's so important?
Yes and no. Okay. My take on the so-called soul trap. Yes, it exists. Even Courtney Brown and his remote viewed that. But what's happening is, if your frequency is high enough, that doesn't mean shit. You can escape this game. You can leave. But if you're not high enough frequency, then you have to try to be discerning and tell where the trap is and go, and know not to go to the light and so on. You're probably still not going to escape. The bottom line is, it's all about your enlightenment, your soul development, and your frequency as a result of that. So what you really want to do is raise your frequency so that you cannot be trapped. Because once you do that, you fucking cannot be trapped. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. This is kind of an interesting twist on that idea that you might not have thought of, which is that, the dark side, Satanists, what they do is try to keep their frequency low by doing evil deeds. Okay. Murder, mayhem, you name it. Okay. Why do they do that? So they can make sure that they will reincarnate again and again and again, come back to this sector, because what they don't want to do is become enlightened and raise their frequency, because they would leave here, and they don't want to leave here because they're what you call materialists. Okay. They want to come back and live forever here in this dimension, where they can do as many evil things as they wish.
Wow. Holy shit. That doesn't make sense.
It's a twist. It's a twist in the way you might have thought about it in the past.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And then based on everything you're hearing, what do you expect to see in the next few years? Do you think the Iran war will go smoothly? Do you see disclosure coming? What are your biggest takeaways, from what you see unfolding in the next few years?
Well, I mean, that's a huge question. Okay. I have said already that we're going to have a war. So after this war, we're going to have a war with ETs, negative ETs, the AI, negative alien based AI primarily, but some of our AI may join them, as well as so aliens, AI, and androids. That's the next war. That's what we were told in Camelot by a certain whistleblowers, like 20 years ago, that we could look forward in the world to World War III. And after that, that's just a preparation. This World War III that's happening is known, it's planned. China is in on it. Yes. Iran is in on it. They knew this was going to happen. Okay. They don't, in a sense, they don't have a choice, you understand, but they did know it was coming. This is an exercise to get the planet ready for the real war. That's going to be with AI, ETs, negative ETs, and negative androids.
Do you feel like humanity will prevail, or
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I believe that these are tests that humanity is being put through, these sort of the ringer, these tests, because we basically have to prove ourselves, and we have to, play this game. We've chosen to play this game. And yeah, that's what's happening. I believe the creator puts these obstacles in our way so that, because when you force the light to fight the darkness, the light recognizes its own power. And that's when you surmount the obstacle.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, this was amazing. Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything you want to promote, or are you doing your tour to Egypt this year, or did you want to talk about anything?
No, we couldn't go because too many people backed out because of the war.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because everything's kind of unstable.
So we're pushing it to the fall. I really want to go because of the new museum. I really want to see that. It's really quite spectacular.
What's up with the new museum
in Egypt?
What's up with the new museum? What did they make? Is it like a new
it's amazing. It's just it was already, you don't realize, but there was a whole ceremony that took place, I don't know, like 7 years ago. And then they went silent and they never opened it. It's just insane, because I believe they had to fight with the ETs and the mummies, the negative entities that control the mummies when they moved them from the old museum to the new museum. Egypt is heavily inundated by ETs.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? Yeah, that would. Yeah,
so they've been battling with them for all these years. And now I guess somehow they made a deal and now they're able to open the museum.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, anything you want to promote, and thanks for coming on, Kerry. This was great as usual.
Okay. Well, I hope that, I can help people to see through the bullshit, because there's just too much of it. And, it really pisses me off when I see people that don't seem to even they don't even look into what the white hats are all about. They just want to badmouth Trump and say he's, and want to be anti-war. You can't be anti-war right now. Okay. It's not about being passive and sitting ducks for the negative ETs to take us over and for the negative AI to take control of this planet. That's not an option. Okay. Peace is bullshit right now. You are warriors. You need to be warriors for your children and for the future of humanity. So you need to learn what the fight's about, why we're doing it, why the white hats are doing what they're doing. I'm not saying they're perfect. I don't always agree with their choices, but they definitely have the best interest of humanity at heart. And you are also fighting Satanists. And the Satanists they're actually easy to identify, and they've been out there. King Charles is dead. He's been dead, okay, for probably at least a year. This guy is a fake that they're about to die. He's about to die, right? That's all a bullshit game. Prince William is now King William. He's been king after, King Charles passed the baton to him. He actually did it publicly. You just didn't notice. I mean, it's just that if you can't see through these lies, then you don't know what the fuck is going on. They are reptilians as well. They're vampires. Prince William is a vampire. King Charles was a vampire. These are vampires. Okay. Do you know what vampires do? Do I have to explain it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
You don't have to preach to me. I don't know if you think you're talking to me or like.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the audience. Of course, I'm not talking to you. I assume you know all this shit.
Oh, I was just saying. I don't.
I mean, I'm sorry if you think. No, I'm totally here to talk to your audience. That's what I'm here to do, is talk to the audience.
No, I get it. I know. It's a crazy time in the world. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody thought we would be in the situation we're in, and here we are. And
well, I guess I knew we would. I mean, it was just unequivocal going to happen. And we were told by whistleblowers for years and years and years and years. So, Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kerry. Do you want to tell people where they can find you? And thank you.
Okay. And we need donations. So if you want to help my work, and, I do have a webmaster. I have to pay him on a weekly basis if he does do work for me. And so I could really appreciate any donations. So we have a huge red donate button on projectcamelotportal.com, my main website. Okay. projectcamelotportal.com. That's the main URL, but there's also projectcamelot.tv, like television. There's also projectcamelot.org. These are alternate URLs. They all go to the same place. And then we have old channels. We have the old channel when we first started, which was called projectcamelot.org. If you go to the front page of my Project Camelot Portal website and you click channels, where on the far left, you'll see a drop down of a ton of stuff. One of those is projectcamelot.org. And that's my old website when we first started, when it's me and Bill Ryan. And then we have another interim website called Project Camelot Productions that was built when Bill and I were splitting up. And then we went over to projectcamelotportal.com. But they all, all the URLs, all the pages are still there. All the videos are still there. If you come across a video that doesn't work in a page, please call, don't call us, but write to us and send us the URL that doesn't work so that we can fix it. Okay. That's what we are here to do, is to make sure this information is available to the public 24/7 for free. Okay. I used to charge on my website. I don't charge anymore. So even people that are donating, if you decided to subscribe, you're actually donating. You're not, it's not an old-fashioned subscription anymore. Just saying, it's all written up on if you click on join us and the front page, I explain all about it. We really appreciate the people that support our work, because I couldn't do it without you. I just couldn't do it. I don't have that much money, and actually I have less than I used to because the economy, I guess, is going down, and so it's affecting me. But
yeah. Well, thank you so much. I always enjoy having you on, and I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a good night, everyone. And thank you, Kerry. Good night.
Thank you.